Hello everybody, welcome back to Torment, Tides of Numenera. So this had just opened up a bit. We were about to go exploring and talk to these guys, and there's some like thing going on. I don't know. There's shit going down, and we're gonna find out what it is. We have a character sheet now with all our stats and shit. Fettles. Temporary conditions that affect character stats and actions. No active fettles. Okay, that's interesting. This is the stuff I'm really interested in right now, and since it's early access, I'm just kind of curious, like all the possibilities that we're gonna have, and it looks like there's gonna be quite a bit going on here. Tier 1 steps towards next tier 0. Every 4th advancement step purchase increases the character's tier, unlocking new abilities, stats, and skill training. So that's sort of like the old Fallouts where you unlock the perks. Stop the sorrow. The sorrow is growing inside me like a cancer. It seeks to destroy me utterly. I must find a way to stop it. Activate the resonance chamber. We have an inventory full of nothing. What other buttons do we have here? Map. Okay. And then we have a bunch of these guys that are just goofing about here, but it doesn't look like we can... Oh, can I? No. Okay, that's my name. Last cast off. Doesn't look like I can interact with these guys. We got a door here. We have a specter here. Oh right, I forget I can press tab. Let's see. The view from this window would inspire an author to pen his greatest masterpiece. Unfortunately, the window is boarded up. bit of in exile humor there, I guess. Let's talk to him and see if he has anything else to say to me. Hey, I've told you everything I know. Until you get to the resonance chamber, I'm as blind as you. He points to the rift in space. Just head through that portal, activate the chamber, and we're healed. It's as simple as that. He points to the rift in space. Was that thing down there? Okay, I've already talked to him. I just needed to remind myself a bit. Okay, so this appears to be our only option, so let's head on forward. And where we go. Where did she fall from? Her body smashed to talk. It's a wonder she's still breathing.
All I saw was the corona, not her origin point. But look, she's healing already.
Will you look at... Wait, I know that face. Alright, that was a little fast for me to read out loud. Alajern. Which one is Alajern? It's not... Oh, there it is. It's the dude. Oh, what was that? What did you do, Calistage? His tone had become accusatory, suspicious. You open your eyes. The first thing you notice is the man's kaleidoscope of tattoos, writhing across his forearms. He wears a long, dark coat, belted at the waist, supplies filling the pockets. His boots are worn and stained with years of travel.
You blame me! She emitted an internal psychological reaction in response to the fall. Probably related to that fantastic healing process. Obviously, Alajern.
Her voice rolls and hisses, and you have to rub your eyes to be sure that you're not seeing double. Faint echoes of her actions trail from her, each nearly mimicking her. So as you can see, she has these little shadows bouncing around here. Though some act and react to stimuli that you can't perceive. Her vivid hair and outrageous clothing remain constant through these shadows. Oh yes, it's obvious, Calistage. His voice is grim and clipped. Then he sees you looking at him. You're no ordinary mortal. We know that much. Start talking. His face is hard and set. Scan thoughts. She's the changing god. Calistage is deliberately blinding herself, but why? What the fuck? What is scan thoughts? She's the changing god. Calistage is deliberately blinding herself, but why? I'm no ordinary mortal. What do you mean? You really don't know? He cocks his head to the side. I'm starting to think you're not her.
Starting to think, Alajern. Tell me, Is it a novel experience?
Scan thoughts. Allegern's being more paranoid than usual. How long must I put up with him? It's her face. I've never seen any other people rebuild themselves like that. Only the changing god could have healed so quickly. Oh, okay. So this was probably his thoughts earlier, and then this is... okay. He sighs and rubs his face, trying to regain his composure. Maybe you could help me for a change. You know what this means to me.
You're familiar with the word changing, Allegern. It implies inconstancy. Thus the changing god may well have changed.
Several versions of her shrug as she addresses you.
You'll have to forgive him. He believes you're someone he once knew, even though it's painfully obvious to anyone that you are newly born.
Her most solid self curtsies while others bow or spin.
I and my sisters am Callistage. This is Allegern. We are explorers, knowledge seekers. That's how we came to be in this room. If I'm not mistaken, you are what we call a cast-off. The changing god created you, body and mind. Your sire used your body for a time, then abandoned it for reasons of his own. When his mind departed for a new experience, you were born in his cast-off shell.
Okay, so someone inhabited my body, and then he left my body, so the body took on a life of its own? Is that it? Or was I, like, trapped in my own body while he was using my body? So you say I was born when the changing god left, but why am I not dead? I used a cipher to slow your fall further, but the damage still would have killed an ordinary person. But think about it. If you're the kind of person who can make your body into anything you want, what do? If you've constructed bodies for centuries, you want to make each one better than the last. You want to live forever. You're not going to let your life end by accident. No, you will make strong bodies, fast, powerful. Maybe throw in regeneration while you're at it. So maybe like the plot is I'm supposed to actually find this changing god for some reason and set myself free? I don't know.
The changing god has always been vain. He rarely stays long in a shell that doesn't suit his self-image.
She looks you up and down, her smile suddenly unnerving.
Perhaps the changing god fled because he didn't want to wear those scars of yours.
How can you be sure this body's a cast-off?
You mean aside from your miraculous reformation? For one thing, there's your tattoo. All cast-offs have one, though its purpose is beyond me. And then, of course, there's your delicious naivete.
She could be faking it. You don't live hundreds of years without learning to lie convincingly.
Oh, for...
She sighs in exasperation and says to you,
What do you think? Are you a newborn child, or are you a powerful immortal whom death has robbed of his memories?
Allegern crosses his arms and growls.
Fine. What do you think?
Scan thoughts. This should be interesting. I'm still not sure what this is. What if I am the changing god? There's so much I don't know or remember. I think I must be a cast-off. You obviously knew the changing god, Allegern. What do you think? Am I him? I honestly don't know. Yeah, we're just gonna be honest. I have no fucking idea. He forces a smile onto his face and pats you awkwardly. His brow remains furrowed, though. You don't know. Perhaps we can talk about what you do know. She laughs scornfully.
She clearly knows enough to evade your clumsy accusations, Allegern. You have nothing to go on but bitterness and bias.
He looks away and his composure slips a little. Gods, you're so rancid sometimes, Callistage. If the changing god abandoned my body, where is he now? If he abandoned your body, then his consciousness fled to another. He eyes you keenly.
Oh, do stop!
The look she gives Aladurn is equally piercing, amplified by the withering glares of her sisters.
If there's one thing we know about the Changing God, dear, it's that he always has a contingency. This child was born here. The object of your obsession will have been reborn somewhere else.
Do you know anything about the tides? Yeah, they're water things. With gravity, you know? Oh, no, not those tides.
I've heard that term before, a subject your sire studied in great depth. I'm afraid it isn't my field of inquiry.
I mean, it is possible that we're the Changing God. It would make sense because we're just like confused about all our lives at this point. I think if we were fully newborn, we wouldn't have any of that other junk that had just happened. Maybe not, though. What was that blast of energy when I woke?
As I was telling my colleague, it was obviously a physiological reaction of some kind. I've never witnessed the birth of a cast-off. But yes, it could very well have been caused by your nascent consciousness. Don't worry. I don't believe it caused any real harm. Not to me, at least.
Really? You've been more abrasive than ever since we came in here. He shoots her a sidelong look. She just can't with other people unless she's experimenting on them. I want to ask something else. Are there other cast-offs?
Dozens. Hundreds. Who can say? Your sire has been doing this for several centuries.
Though if all of them were born the way you claim to have been, it's a wonder any of them survive. If falling from the sky didn't kill me, is there anything that can?